All right, here we go. Listen to this. It's the Notebook. You can Google us. We're on the podcast, and I'm Austin Ward. This is Caleb Downs. 10 years in a day. Did not know?
Did not know. They said 10 years ago, but they didn't tell me it was a day.
Yeah, one more day. So came against Indiana, and it set the tone for a team that won the national championship. So Caleb, everyone has talked about you getting the football in your hands. This is the first time we've really got to look at it. Like, what goes through your mind the second you scoop it off the turf?
Do what I want to do. Try to make a play. Try to put my team in a position to spark the team. That's really the whole mindset. Put my team in a position to make a play and spark the team.
This team felt like, tell me if you agree, it felt like there was a different edge, different mentality. Your coach today was talking with Pat McAfee yesterday. He's like, hey, we're good too. Don't forget about us. Like, did you sense that difference in the locker room today?
I feel like everybody could see that they were trying to doubt us, that they really didn't believe that we were going to play how we were supposed to play. But at the end of the day, like, we can't worry about what anybody else thinks. We got to play our game every game. And we got to keep that intensity through every game.
Is there anything for you, like, we know how high your goals, your standards are, to make history like that? That's something for Ohio State hadn't happened in a decade and you did it. Does that mean anything to you? I know that the team is first and foremost for you, but that's gotta feel pretty cool.
I think it just shows the favor that God has had on me, and I truly appreciate that. And I can't say anything. He's blessed me with a lot.
All right, congrats on the win.
Thanks.
Congrats on the punt return.
2 years ago, walking off the field, I remember that. And I remember last year when they beat me at Alabama too. So.
Okay, he's got some memories for next week. I wasn't going to bring that up yet, but it's rivalry week, so shifting gears there for Caleb Downs. We're off in running here. Ohio State won 38-15. That punt return changed everything. You know, there were some jokes up there. Look at this.
What's up?
It's Emeka Egbuka.
Hey, guys.
Hey, congrats on the win. How's it going? What is this walk? Yeah, what is this week coming ahead for you? How quickly, were you in the fourth quarter thinking about next week, or did you celebrate the win at all?
No, I was thinking about that. It's hard for me to celebrate this one too much because, even though, top 5 matchup, they're undefeated. I think we did what we expected to do today. On
to the next?
Yeah, on to the next.
All right, congrats on the win, Emeka. Berm's struggling back there. I didn't mean to make him do all these stairs. We're working out. He's playing through the pain. All right, well, that's 38-15. Emeka Egbuka got things rolling as well. He had that touchdown, a gorgeous ball from Will Howard, who may come down these stairs too. I don't know if Berm's going to have to do it for the third time. But it's funny. So Caleb was standing in the corner of the media room up here, and he was scanning the stat sheet. And he just got to one point, and he goes, whoa. And I said, well, what makes you do a double take like that? He said, Cody Simon, 10 tackles. He's in on the 3 of those sacks. The guy played a hell of a game. I've been saying for weeks, it's kind of wild that he's not a Buckeyes semifinalist, not a Buckeyes finalist. Doesn't matter to him. He's got the block O because he's selfless, but he was sensational in the first half. He was in on those 2.5 sacks. Those both came in the first half. And Ohio State was struggling to get rolling a little bit offensively. It's not surprising. They play at a slow tempo. They have all year. Indiana did some good things. They took that lead early, 7-0. And then it gets a little bit dicey there when Ohio State's driving there at the end of the first quarter, facing 3rd and 35 after intentional grounding, a weird play there for Will Howard, a strange block in the back that was called on Carson Hinsman. I'm not sure that I agree with it. I know that Ryan Day didn't. He was outraged by it, and he and Will Howard were both incredulous about that call. But then back-to-back throws, 3rd and 35 from Ohio State's own 40, and then they go for a 4th and 10. Both of those throws go to Carnell Tate. So it was 49 yards on back-to-back completions. They get the first down. This game, probably going to look a lot different if they're not able to at least sustain those drives. Now, it didn't, immediately pay dividends because Ohio State turned it over, 4th and 1 on the 2 there to start the second quarter, but kept things manageable. Eventually, they get that touchdown to Emeka Egbuka that I mentioned. Just a perfect ball into the left corner of the end zone, right over the defender there. Makes it 7-7, and then you start to feel Ohio State putting their impact on the game. Had the blitz there. Cody Simon forced a fumble as well. Ty Hamilton recovered a weird sequence there where it was followed with the drop by Jelani Thurman that goes for an interception. But the defense just kept answering the bell and then right before halftime there, you had Travion Henderson going off the left side. Great block in there by Austin Sareveld kicking out. You had Carson Hinsman playing a good game. Like, I know we talked to Seth McLaughlin about the injury, and he was on the scooter. The way Ohio State adjusted again was really impressive. So give credit to them. Give credit to Justin Fry. Give credit to Chip Kelly. Like, this is not as easy as the Buckeyes really made it look with the offensive line. When you're down not just two starters, I think Ohio State's two best offensive linemen in Josh Simmons and Seth McLaughlin, and they just kept right on rolling along. So for all the attention and scrutiny that has existed there for Justin Fry, I think it's probably pretty relevant to give him credit when you have a performance like this, because Ohio State's not going to. Indiana is so well coached. Try to make that point all week. They just don't have the personnel to go, and you saw that as wear down the opposition later in the game, and that's again a tribute to the offensive line and those guys. And Seth McLaughlin was key with some of the leadership on the sideline as well. But then we get to that third quarter, and Will Howard was right behind this door, and I believe it was Tim May asked Caleb Downs what he felt like the turning point in the game, and Will Howard just kind of chuckled and he said, "Well, it was the punt return." Yeah, I mean, obviously, it changed everything for Ohio State. Part of the skeptical part of me that has seen Ohio State special teams struggle for the better part of this decade, not just because they haven't had a kickoff or a punt return since then for a touchdown, but just some really inept play in every part of the kicking game. Indiana botches a punt. That sets Ohio State up for an easy touchdown. Then they can't corral Caleb Downs. C.J. Hicks throws a fantastic block at the end of that. So the first punt return since 2014, as we mentioned, that came against Indiana. It came for those national championships. That's followed up with a 3-and-out. You had Jeremiah Smith coming out, getting more involved. He did not look like himself. He's still very good at less than 100%. And I don't even know what number I would put at. He had both ankles kind of taped up pretty heavily, but he gets a third down catch, and then he takes an end around. Ohio State throws a wrinkle in there with the T formation. They throw a play action touchdown to Johnny Thurman to get that back 28-7. You could just tell at that point, Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau go out, they make a sack to end the third quarter, and the Buckeyes really step on the throat. I know you think it's probably weird that we're just hanging out in this room. Will Howard is holding court in there, hoping to get a word with the quarterback as well for the notebook before we maybe head outside and see who else is celebrating, or if they're celebrating, because as Emeka and Caleb Downs mentioned, next week they're already on to the game. The losing streak has lingered in their mind. They want to get that obviously addressed and fixed and corrected, and then they want to play the week after that. You have to do that by also beating Michigan next Saturday at noon. So pretty funny fourth quarter there where Indiana seemed to want to get the game over with. And then they're like, no, we're going to run the clock down. And then they get one touchdown. They get the 2-point conversion. Then they go for the onside kick. They tried to cram it all in after it seemed like they were willing to just give up on this game. And then Ohio State sort of gave them an opportunity. Like, all right, the onside kick goes out of bounds. The Buckeyes, Travion Henderson squirts free. He goes down, slides to the turf. Ryan Day was describing this process where they're in the 4-minute drill, and as soon as you get the first down, they want to, get down on the turf, and they want to protect the defense. They want to protect the win. It's like Travion was so fast that he was on the goal line before he knew it, and he wound up at the 1, and then now what do you do? They took a little bit of time off the clock. Then they punched in the touchdown there late, and the celebration was really on at that point. Saw Will Howard getting animated. Maybe we can ask him about what's the thought process behind a big celebration. I think we know what it is. That's the problem, I think, with the way that Curt Cignetti has branded himself in Indiana. Like, you could be just a feel-good story for the entire college football season, but he's gone out of his way from the very start, saying that Ohio State sucks just like Purdue and Michigan. The Google stuff, that's him. He can do whatever he wants. But that was the part that was so strange. It's why I think that there's been a different edge to Ryan Day in the last couple of days. His comment about "we're good too" to Pat McAfee was a reminder that Ohio State did not really like being overlooked here in this conversation. It's like Indiana in the playoff, Indiana's undefeated. And I think Ohio State takes that part personally. They wanted to send a message. I believe that they definitely did that, it's hard not to. So we'll see. This guy, he's got to run the damn ball. You mind if we walk downstairs?
Yeah, man. Come on.
Okay.
I gotta go to my family, but
I know, that's why we're not going to hold you up.
yeah.
I know you got Seth's hat on. What has it been like for you to get back a new relationship with Carson and not close it on Seth, but just, I know that had to be tough for the quarterback center battery.
I wasn't worried about that at all. We're all in this thing together, and it's next man up mentality. I love Carson just like I love Seth. Proud of him for what he did and stepped up today, but I heard from Seth.
Yeah.
So gotta keep going.
How do you decide what's a good celebration to do on the sideline?
Just comes to me, man. I don't have any words for that.
All right. Congrats on the win.
Before you grab it,
All right. I got to get a recorder up there here. I'll just take this and I'll meet you outside. Okay. I'm going to give Berm a break from this set of stairs so I can head back in there. I will grab my recorder so that we can get some more stories and audio written. But pretty cool scene there for Ohio State after the game. A lot of people flocking to Seth McLaughlin, shaking his hand, wishing him well moving forward. And you also had Ohio State players, they're not trying to necessarily mock or rub it in anybody's face, but they were, as I said, pretty annoyed about the way that this matchup was covered. So we're going to take a little tour back down the other stairs as we head down back outside. Look, there's Bill Landis. Bill, who was your player of the game?
Oh boy, Cody Simon, gotta be. He's a madman on the boards.
He was pretty good, wasn't he?
He was. He's been activated.
He activated? Is that addition to the lexicon, activation?
It's just a really nice shorthand for when an Ohio State defensive player plays awesome. He was activated.
He was. That heater's been activated as well. Pretty fancy balloon work here. You knew it was a big game. The sideline was jam-packed with recruits. Hey, thanks, Mick. All right, now we are back outside. Berm has been spared from one more trip up and down the stairs. He's gonna have to take this camera from me because I feel silly just holding it right in front of my face. There he is. All right. The pizzas are all being devoured over here. There's Berm.
It's time for war.
It's time for war? Okay.
How you doing, Bob?
I would really like to get Television's Adam King back on here. There he is. All right. We can't go another week without him.
How are we gonna go? Run the ball!
There he is. That's Television's Adam King. Hey, where were you after the Northwestern game? The notebook missed you.
I was working. Some of us have a job to do. I don't know what you call this, but
Content. So
I would just like to say, and I have to look at the camera and say this.
say it with your chest.
I made a statement about Cody Simon back in camp. It wasn't.
You tried to deny it multiple times.
It wasn't a hurtful statement. I just said that, I've got to see it from him a little more. Cody, if you're watching, which I know you are a loyal viewer of the Notebook,
Yes.
you are a phenomenal linebacker, maybe the best in the country, and boy, oh boy, do I owe you an apology.
So that means he's your player of the game.
Yes.
You and Bill Landis both took him. That's some elite praise.
That's makes me feel better about my pick. Who did Berm take?
Berm, who was your player of the game?
Cody Simon.
Cody Simon.
Well, now I just kind of feel like it's bad. I don't really want to be a.
Everybody wanted it?
I'm gonna pick
Caleb down.
G. Scott Jr.
Okay.
Ask me why, I don't know. I just don't want to be a part of your guys.
Well, you already took Cody Simon. How great was the punt return?
It was phenomenal. Okay, so this is a true story, as opposed to fake stories that you sometimes hear. So I go back.
You do work in the news media, sir.
No.
We're just online. Google us.
Google you. I was coming back from doing the scoreboard update, and I was in the car, and I was stopped at a red light across from where game day was set up, and they had the Fox Big Noon on.
Yeah.
And I watched it from my car, and all around me was just people screaming and yelling and celebrating. It was beautiful.
Do they get to count you as part of the ratings if you're just in your car?
Yeah, they can add one viewer because I saw it. So.
All right. Are you ready for next week?
I am ready. I love Jack Sawyer walked out of here, and he said, "It's time for war," and he was hyped.
Oh. Okay.
Time for war.
Bringing that song back. Plenty of smoothies left after a nice cold day at the Horseshoe, if anybody needs to grab that. Nicole, who is your player of the game? Who was your player of the game?
Caleb Downs.
Caleb Downs.
Caleb
Okay, a little
Downs.
variety.
I mean, we're making history out here.
It's been 10 years.
I love it.
I mean-
and against Indiana and the game before Michigan and the year that they won the national championship. It can't get much better than that.
That's a lot of good stuff. And
No.
finally, a week that I didn't even predict a punt return for a touchdown, which I've been doing for 10 years. So
Hey.
I'm the idiot. Worked against me. All right. I don't know what else we have to cover here, Berm. It is time for war. It is time to move on. Ohio State in position now. I believe that they have clinched a playoff spot. They could, I'm not even going to say it out loud. I believe that they have clinched a playoff spot. They are still playing for a Big Ten championship. They are still playing to win the rivalry, which has not happened for the seniors on this team. That's why they came back. Emeka mentioned that. Jack Sawyer, a big part of the reason that they are still at Ohio State to accomplish that. So next week is always big, all on its own. But and that's all that needs to be said about that. Ohio State stays in control of its destiny in the Big Ten championship race. They have effectively removed a lot of the Indiana conversation. This was a dominant victory for the Buckeyes. Again, 38-15. We're going to wrap it up here in the Horseshoe. We get one more time back out here in the regular season. It is the biggest one of all. The game week is here. We are going to have rivalry kickoff. That's going to be at Fairway Columbus on Monday night at 7 o'clock. If you want to come out and join us, we'll be at Roosters as well on Monday. We're going to have some home breaks with Card Collector 2 that Bill Landis and I will be doing. We're going to record that for you all on Wednesday. Ohio State's interviews are scheduled for Tuesday, so we'll have snap judgments and everything else. Part of that, we're gonna try and cram as much content as we possibly can to get ready for the game. We know it's tough with Thanksgiving, but this is the most important week of the season for Ohio State. All on the line as they're trying to end this losing streak, and they snapped Indiana's win streak at 10 with a big victory in the Horseshoe. Thanks to Berm for making it up and down those stairs. Thanks to Will Howard, Emeka Ibuka, Caleb Downs for stopping by on the Notebook. Thanks to all of you for watching. It's been a fun week. Another big one coming for Ohio State. Thanks for joining us on the Notebook. I'm Austin Ward. See ya.